Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or welcome to the channel if you're brand new here. Thank you so much for joining me today for our pick card reading on the topic of a lucky little blessing coming to you soon. So we're just going to take a glimpse into something good coming down the pipeline from the universe to you. Hopefully it'll put a smile on your face today. But of course, first we have to pick our pile leaders to choose from. So let's do that now. Okay, we already have pile 1, it seems. So pile 1, you already saw it a little bit, but we have approve. Put that one over here. And then I'm feeling this one for pile 2. We have soul. And then for pile 3, how about this one right here? We have strength. So pile 1, approve, pile 2, soul, and pile 3, we have strength. So of course, you're always welcome to pause on this part of the video if you need more time to decide what pile calls to you most, but whenever you are ready, you can drop down to the description box below and or the top pinned comment beneath the video. Find the timestamp there for your pile, and I'll see you in our little chat about a lucky little blessing coming to you soon. See you there. Hello there, my lovely pile number 1. Welcome today to your lucky little blessing reading coming to you soon. As you recall, your pile leader was the card of approve. With the full moon, and it looks almost like a meteor shower. We'll set this over to the left here as is custom. And then let's first draw your oracle cards to begin the reading. So Spirit, coming forward for pile 1 today, could you please enlighten us as to what lucky little blessing is coming their way soon in the near future? Thank you. Okay, definitely that one is popping out. So to begin the reading, we have the otter and cattail with peace. Okay, so it seems like right off the bat, pile 1, whatever this little blessing is, it's something that's going to be bringing you some peace. I also think of otters as very joyful creatures since they tend to be very playful and very social with each other. So a part of me almost wonders if it's going to be like peace within a group of people, or with something that was like supposed to be fun, but for a while now it hasn't been as fun as you thought like it was supposed to be. Like if you ever have a situation in life, pile 1, where you're really excited for something and you go do that thing or join that group of people, whatever it might be, and then it's just not quite what you expected. This almost feels like a turnaround of that expectation of aligning more with what you thought it would be in terms of the goodness that you were seeking out of the situation. Let's see. Let's draw some more cards, though, too, before I get too far in the weeds, but that is intuitively what is popping forward first. Get some more details. Definitely this one drew my eye. So we have from Vintage Wisdom, Perception. Interesting. We also have, it's a little bit of a theater production here. We have the comedy versus the tragedy mask and the way that we perceive things. Yeah, once again, it's just a reiteration of like, it's something that you thought was going to be one way, and then so far it's turning out to be another, but then it's like it finally switches back on its head towards what your original perception of it was. Like, it's one of those rare times in life where it's like something that you thought was going to be good that went bad finally goes back to the good. Okay. And then from your tea leaves today, let's see what those say. Okay, that was quick. So there's 1, and then, okay, so we've got 3. I will take those 3. So the very first one that flew out was crib. Birth or conception of a child or enterprise. So something that you've been trying to maybe bring to fruition, trying to create. We have wind chimes, peace and harmony. So we have peace twice, pile 1. We had peace with the otter and the cattail, and then we do have once again with the wind chimes. So definitely it's going to be a lot calmer than it has been. So something that maybe has been really chaotic as well in your life recently, and you're like, oh my God, I just want things to calm down finally. And then this is an indication that finally it will do what it's supposed to, like what you wanted it to be. And then bouquet, compliments from an admirer. So maybe even some respect from people in this group, or the person in the situation along with you, or just general, like something that you're being praised for. Okay, very interesting. So yeah, I want to say, just to nail it down, and then I'm sorry, just to interrupt myself. Going back to your pile leader, we have approve, which reminds me of the compliments from the admirer with the bouquet cards. So it's not just like peace and harmony within this situation. It's that along with people praising or approving you for it, complimenting you for it, bringing more harmony to the situation, being a little bit more calm than it has been, perhaps. And then same thing, too, with the, we have the perception card, which tells me it's like switching back to the good thing that you thought it was going to be, that so far it hasn't been. And then it's going to finally kind of settle, like, it could be that maybe it's something that you started that was new, pile 1, hence the crib, like birth or conception of a child or an enterprise. And, when you start new things, even if it is like maybe you had a child and things have been kind of rocky so far, maybe the kid is kind of, especially in the beginning, children can kind of be, they wake up throughout the night. They don't really sleep through the night for quite a few months right after they're born. Okay. Things like that. Or maybe it's like something new in terms of like the enterprise part, where it said like a business or a new project that you've been working on, or a new group of people that you've joined for some reason, however that applies to you. And it can be rocky at first. It can be like, oh my God, I got to get this off the ground. Like if it's a business launch, like maybe you're just kind of figuring out the kinks and everything. But then finally, it's like very soon those kinks will be worked out. Things will kind of just mellow down a little bit. It'll calm. And then everything's going to be that moment of, okay, this is more what I pictured when I thought about starting out with this journey. This is more along the lines of what I wanted from this rather than what it's been so far. So if I had to summarize everything so far, pile 1, your blessing has been something aligning more with the dream you had in mind that it hasn't been yet, okay? Especially in terms of maybe rocky starts, a lack of compliments or praise or approval from others, and let's see, it's just not aligning with what you expected. But then, like I said, it's going to shift back to, okay, this is great. This is good now. So let's also draw your tarot cards here, pile 1. So that's always good to hear, right? Especially because I know, like, whenever I've started anything in my own life, and I think everybody can kind of relate to this, pile 1, there's always going to be things you don't expect that you, like when you dream about doing that one thing, you kind of gloss over because you're kind of stuck so much in the excitement of it. But then now it's like you're finally moving into the stage of, now I can do the thing I was excited about with all the obstacles and the road bumps in my way. Let's see, we have first card, the 4 of Wands reversed. Okay, inciting incident. So that almost tells me, like, right at the beginning, pile 1, it was not the celebration or, like, stable thing that you wanted it to be. Especially because when I think of the number 4, reversed especially, it's like something lacking stability, something lacking equal balance or equilibrium in general. And it being the 4 of Wands reversed, it's like something that was not a cause for celebration. It was like, oh no, this thing went wrong, or things are just kind of shaky right now. I'm not really sure if this is going to work out. That kind of feeling at the beginning of whatever this is. Okay. Second card is, 2 of Wands, but it was a big plan for the future, dreams for the future. That's literally what this card means. So it's like you kept going forward with it, and you're like, okay, I need to keep going. This is my big dream. I can't just give up. Something I'm working hard on. And then, 7 of Swords is the core or the heart of the matter, pile 1. And what that tells me is that this is the card of deception or trickery in some way. It was deceiving. You're like, okay, this is not what I expected it to be. This is something that's a little bit more rocky than I thought it would be. It's not quite what I dreamed it would be. That, like, in that energy of the 2 of Wands, like, that's what I was saying before. It's like, oh, I was so excited for this thing, and it's going to be this and this and that. And then, boom, there comes the deception or the trickery of, oh, this is the reality of what this starting this thing actually means, right? Let's see what else we have here, too. And then we have the 4 of Pentacles reversed, okay? Something about, like, giving more, sharing more freely, especially with materials and resources. And then the outcome card here is the Queen of Swords. Very interesting. Now, in terms of reading this as a blessing reading, let's see here. So pile 1, the way this blessing is going to come about, where it finally kind of goes on the mend and in an upward trend versus kind of the downward trend that it's been so far, is there might be a little bit of a need for more pouring of your resources into whatever this is, because the Four of Pentacles reversed is about giving more. It's about letting go of especially material things, because Pentacles are like the financial career suit. Putting more into something rather than clutching them so close like he's clutching these sunflowers, okay? So there is a little bit of a trek on the way still. It's not going to be something that just immediately falls in your lap. However, if you just keep up your efforts with it and you just give a little bit more of I would say investment even, not just energy, but maybe also financial because of the Pentacles being here, that's what'll bring this blessing about of things kind of calming down a little bit. So like if this is say a business you started, pile 1, I would recommend like maybe just investing a little bit more money into something, maybe like marketing, say if it's like you're lacking sales, or if it's a project that you've been working on, you know, maybe invest in more training for yourself to gain the skill that would help kind of boost that to the next level. Something along those lines, whatever more investment in this means to you, okay? And then last but not least, we have the Queen of Swords reversed. So typically in a reading, I would read this as kind of a negative because it's reversed, right? However, this is a blessing reading, and the Queen of Swords is all about someone who thinks very logically, someone who is very clear in how they come to their conclusions, someone who is also very communicative, especially like a feminine energy since she's a queen. And so reversed, it's like it's almost telling me that things will become a little bit more mindless. Like what I'm hearing is that because of the stresses of the launch of this have not like it hasn't been going quite well so far. When things don't go well, I mean, kind of, well, very obviously, we have to put in a lot more mental effort into something, right? We have to put a lot more energy into it, like, you know, especially if things are going wrong, like, how do I fix this problem? How do I put this fire out? How do I get this thing going? However, what this Queen of Swords reverse is telling me is, like, as the outcome, the main part of this blessing, besides the other things we talked about with your oracle cards, is you're not going to have to think about it as much. It's going to become a little bit more rote, a little bit more, I've got this, I've done this before kind of feeling. Does that kind of make sense, pile 1? So your perception of it is also going to change a little bit, and that will also bring more peace because, you know, when we're new to things, yeah, sometimes we make mistakes, or sometimes it's just whenever we do something new, there's a learning curve. It's just how things work in life, right, pile 1? But with the Queen of Swords reversed here, it's like, yeah, you're not going to have to think about it as much. You're just going to like, okay, I got this. And I think also what will help is that approval and the compliments from an admirer thing we were talking about before. When people praise you, that also helps you feel a bit more at calm and peace with things, and also the perception of yourself. Like, you know, sometimes we can kind of get imposter syndrome with things, especially when we don't really believe in our own abilities, or we feel like, oh God, we're just failing because... Like, just because something didn't go off completely without a hitch, sometimes we might think, oh, we're a failure, right? But really what this is, pile 1, is just a little bit of a learning curve, like I said, and things will get a lot easier with this particular project. You won't even have to think about it as much as more, okay? After that little bit more of initial investment, like I was talking about with the Four of Pentacles reversed. Okay. Beautiful. I do want to pull just like 1 or 3 more cards here for you, pile 1, about the outcome. I want to see like what are the other pros of the outcome of this, because I think that will kind of really help emphasize the blessing coming from this. So Spirit for pile 1, could you give me like 1 to 3 cards that tells me more about like the positive outcome of this, besides, I know we had a lot with the oracle cards, but... Okay, so definitely this one. We have the Three of Wands. Okay, definitely if you've been having a lot of roadblocks, pile 1, the Three of Wands tells me that this is like actually like taking action towards the future. I mean, he's almost, I think he might even be on a riverboat. It's like he's finally like moving forward from his plans, especially from the journey from the Two of Wands of just dreaming to the Three of Wands of now I'm taking action on my dreams. It's like finally that the imagery they're showing me is like leaves blocking a creek, and then the leaves are just going to finally whoosh, get out of the way, and then things are just going to flow a lot easier, okay? And then the second card is the Five of Pentacles, okay? That talks about things with hardship, but let me just get more context here with the third card. And the Page of Cups reversed. Interesting, okay. So areas of hardship that you have had regarding finances. It seems like those are part of the roadblocks that are going to kind of been breaking through with the Three of Wands energy next to the Five of Pentacles. So if you've been having some money issues recently with this, okay, or just hardship in general, this is just reiterating that, yes, that's going to be the part of that, like the leaves unblocking from the stream for you going forward, okay? And then the Page of Cups reversed tells me that maybe there's been a little bit of... It's either that, like, someone involved that is, like, younger and more emotional. Maybe they've been kind of stressed, too. Like, say, if you have, like, a business partner that's younger or someone working with you that's younger and, like, they've been having some issues, too, with all of this. Maybe you've even kind of been, like, a mentor role to them, pile one. That might be how this manifests for you. It seems like that's part of what will be fixed, too. Like, something to do with that person. Or it could also denote, like, emotions within yourself. Like, you're going to know kind of more how to feel about this. It's not going to be so confusing, you know, in terms of the feelings of, oh God, I feel like I messed up. Oh God, I feel like I haven't been doing well. Maybe I'm not cut out for this, things like that. That will finally kind of quell to rest here is what I'm hearing as this is like a blessing reading, right? These are the pros. So breaking blockages and being able to take action, moving forward through what was before hardship, and then also maybe just a little bit of like the way that it has emotionally affected you is what I'm hearing with the Page of Cups reversed over here, okay? So yeah, very short and sweet. That is your blessing. Your lucky little blessing coming down the road for you very soon here, pile one. So if you liked the reading, if it resonated with you, please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, pile one. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile 2. Welcome today to your little lucky blessing coming to you soon reading. As you recall, your pile leader was the Soul card. We have, it looks like a house within a mirror, and then a book and a pen down here. Putting soul into something is what I'm hearing intuitively for you. Or putting like your heart and soul into something. Let's first draw your oracle cards for today. So Spirit, coming forward for pile 2, could you please give us cards that will explain more about the lucky little blessing coming soon for them? Thank you. Get some more context here. Okay, we have the Deer and the Oat with healing. Beautiful. I'll flip that around so you can actually see it. Deer and Oat with healing. Okay, so maybe recovering from something that has hurt you. I also get an emphasis on being protected from something. So healing, protection. And then we talked about, like I said, healing, putting like your heart and soul. Maybe there's been a disappointment recently that you'll heal from. Let's grab your other cards. Okay, that was very quick. It was like the second card literally just popped out. So we have dreams. So that's kind of what I was talking about with like pouring your soul and your heart into something here, pile 2. I feel like this is related to something that you've really been yearning for. Something that you've been, well, literally like dreaming about. Something close and near to your heart. Like looks almost like, are these roses? I believe they are roses that she's kind of holding right next to her heart in this particular card. So something that you've really been wanting, you've been desiring, and you're like, please, 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 to the universe, I really want this thing. And it's related to a healing or a protection of some sort. Could be like an emotional thing that you've been upset about recently that you kind of just, you're like, oh, I'm so ready just to be emotionally over this. Let's grab your other particular cards here from the tea leaves. Shuffle these in 2 waves because it's kind of a thick deck. Okay, let's see. definitely this one right here. We have older man, dealings or relationship with an older man. Very interesting. Could be like a grandfather energy or a father. Could be a manager or a boss, or it could be someone that is, you know, a friend or a potential relationship, like romantic relationship, with someone that is an older man. Next up, we have teardrops. Yeah, great personal sorrow. So pile 2, I almost feel like, because remember before I said something about like, I feel like there's something you're healing from. I think there was a sadness with whatever this was that is going to be on the mend for you as part of the blessing. And then the last one we have is, oh, cute. Literally, perfect for this reading, right? We have the 4-leaf clover, great good fortune. Yes, so something regarding the situation that has made you upset, pile 2, is going to turn around. I'm getting the sense that initially it was a kind of a deep soul wound, something that really hurt you. That could be a pain from either like the very far past or just recent past. Whatever it was, though, is it just made you very upset. It was something that was very wounding to you, is how they're telling me to emphasize. And let's see, they're trying to tell me something. One moment. Yeah, near and dear is the phrase they keep repeating. Okay, which is funny because you have the deer and the oat. I wonder if that's kind of a pun. Near and dear, you have the deer and the oat. And so I think you have been upset over this, like I was saying. But part of the blessing coming forward is that you're going to heal from it in some way. Now, that can manifest in multiple different ways. We'll glean more of the actually, like, the how with the tarot cards I'll pull here in a moment. But so far what I'm seeing, though, is that it's going to turn around because you do have the great good fortune, right? Something lucky is coming your way in this area, okay? Especially something in your life regarding an older man, okay? Dealings a relationship with an older man. So maybe it's like a boss said something to you or a manager that said something to you who, like, they criticized you and it just kind of, like, dug you deep because you're like, oh, God, this is something I really, like, say your career you invest yourself a lot into and you derive a lot of pride from it, and so it kind of wounded your pride or your, like, belief in yourself. Or, you know, it could be that maybe there's something going on with, like, the health of an older family member, and it's brought you a lot of sorrow, or maybe even you lost an older masculine family member recently, and it's brought you a lot of sorrow, but something good is coming out of that in some way. Like, there's a fortune coming along to kind of rectify the sadness from that, okay? Something along those lines. Or say it is like a romantic relationship maybe that you had with an older man, okay? That maybe it didn't work out or you lost that person. If that is the case, pile 2, then that is the area of your life that is going to turn around, okay? You're going to have a great good fortune and healing from it, okay? And then, like I said, too, just to reiterate a little bit with dreams, something that you really deeply desire, something that you really want, something important to your soul. So it could even be something, when soul has popped up here as your pile leader, that it's important to your soul from, like, a life lesson perspective as well. Maybe that's why it was so near and dear to your heart, because it is important to what you're supposed to be learning here on Earth in this particular incarnation, okay? And so part of the life lesson probably was to feel that loss, and then now the turnaround in this area of your life with that fortune coming, okay, and the healing coming for that. So, yeah. Let's draw your tarot cards to glean some more details. Okay, shuffle my deck here. So, Spirit, for pile 2, could you please come forward with about 5 cards that explains more about what's going on here? What's going on? Okay, well, we definitely have some volunteers that just almost flew out. We have the King of Wands reversed. Okay, so this might speak to the older man. The King of Wands reversed is typically like an older, or not older necessarily, but like a strong masculine energy that has a lot of fiery energy to him. However, because it's reversed, it can mean like someone who spoke like abusively, or someone who spoke to you or did something that was like, sometimes people, like, a King of Wands reversed can be someone that's, like, says something out of anger, like, passionate, like, they said something nasty or angry, and it was just in a fit of a temper rather than it really being, like, the truth of the situation pile, too. So that seems to be, like, the inciting incident here is, like, someone was a King of Wands reversed and said something out of, like, temper or anger that brought that sorrow to you. I think that's kind of, like I said, reflective of that older masculine energy figure that I was talking about here. And then I'm drawn to this one. We have the Two of Wands reversed. Okay, so maybe it's possible that what they said was something along the lines of breaking a dream of yours, because the Two of Wands reversed is like, it's like either the breaking of something that you were planning for the future or discouraged from planning for the future. Maybe it's related to that dream we were talking about. Like, maybe they said, oh, don't do that. That's stupid. Like, it just kind of broke your heart a little bit. And you're like, oh, God, like, now I feel like I lack confidence in this area. I feel like I'm not good enough, or my idea isn't good enough because this person kind of, like, poo-pooed it is kind of how I'm seeing it. And, like, maybe it even broke your spirit to keep kind of dreaming for that particular future or that path, because, you know, the things people say to us can really affect us in the way that we reach for things, especially when it's important to us or that person is important to us. Like, we value their opinion a lot, pile 2. And it seems like you really took it to heart. And then we have Temperance reversed as the heart of the matter. So that's lack of moderation, lack of balance. Okay, so I'm going to get some more context on that with this next card here. We have the Eight of Swords reversed, freeing oneself from a mental prison. Yeah, so that's reflective of what I was saying before, pile 2, where I feel like you're going to be finally healing from whatever this person said that brought that sorrow, okay? Because the Eight of Swords reversed is like freeing ourselves from a mental prison of some sort, freeing ourselves from that which has been binding us mentally. And that's that part of the healing that's coming in the near future for you from whatever this person said. I want to say with Temperance reversed being the heart of the matter, now that I have the context of the Eight of Swords next to it, I think the way this person said something to you was done out of a lack of moderation or balance. I think maybe they're the type of person that values too much of one side of something rather than the other. Like, I'm trying to think of like a really tangible example. So, for example, pile 2, say it was a boss or a manager, just that might not apply exactly to you, but just for the example. And say that this particular boss really values, say the money-making side of things rather than, like, the value that a customer, like, customer satisfaction, okay? And maybe you had an idea that was more about customer satisfaction than making, say, money. And, like, he poo-pooed that idea because he thought, no, money is more important than actually satisfying the customer. Like, maybe it was a cutting corners type thing, and you were like, well, hey, let's not cut corners, because then that ruins our reputation with the customer, and then we lose more money in the end because people don't like us, right? Things like that. So it seems like there was something about, like, that person valuing too much of something over another because of the lack of balance or moderation with Temperance reversed, okay? And it trapped you, not only in the way that it made you kind of feel bad about your idea, but I think it also has been kind of like mentally trapping your mental energy in terms of your ideas. Because the Swords suit can also mean ideas in tarot, like, because it's the suit of the mind, okay? So it's like you're like, oh my God, my ideas have been so bound, and I feel like I'm just stuck here, and I feel like their criticism has just kind of held myself back or my ideas back, things like that. And then as the outcome, we have the Nine of Swords. So that's very interesting. We have the Nine of Swords, which is about anxiety. Now, normally I would read that in an upright reading to mean like literally anxiety, but because this is a blessing reading, what I'm hearing is that the blessing mainly to be extracted from this situation that's like the turnaround is lessening your anxiety, healing from the anxiety of what this masculine energy said to you, okay? Out of like their temper and out of their lack of balance in their goals, okay? I feel like maybe you've been stressing a lot over this recently. It's really been digging down deep into you, maybe even holding back your dreams, because what's interesting with this particular depiction of the Nine of Swords, pile 2, is that this Nine of Swords is in a bed, and the swords or the arrows surround her. So it's almost like, where do we go to dream? We go to bed, right? We dream while we're asleep. So it's almost like these things that this person said or like criticized you for have been impacting and confining your dreams, okay? So what that's going to turn around is in some way, there's going to be a breakthrough with this dream that you've really been yearning for, that we talked about earlier, that heals whatever this was, okay? It's going to break you out of that mental prison with the Eight of Swords reversed. I'm going to actually ask here too. So Spirit, for pile 2, could you please give me 3 final cards that explains, like, what are the pros of this outcome? Like, what's going to happen in terms of, like, why do they break free from this? What turns around? Thank you. I want to get more context on that. Okay, we literally have 3 cards there. I'll see if any more pop out, though. I am going to take that one. So we technically have 4. That's okay. The more the merrier. So we have... Oh, wait, is that actually 5? Okay, we actually have a lot of blessings here. Beautiful. So I'm going to take them as they came. So the first one was the King of Swords. Okay, so we have the swords again, but this is the mastery of the suit. This could actually denote that there's like another masculine figure involved who is more of like a logical, tactical thinker who comes forward and takes your idea and says, actually, that was smart to do. So what this person said initially was like, they shouldn't have discouraged you, is kind of what I'm seeing. And then in context, we have the 9 of Wands reversed, okay? So that tells me, like, there might have been a little bit of a tiredness, a little bit of a defeatism, lack of determination that this person is going to kind of help turn around. They're going to, like, inspire you to, hey, wait a minute, keep going. And I think because they're also a king, they're on the same level of authority as the King of Wands was. And so they're going to have the power to maybe kind of turn your idea around. So I want to say for a lot of you, this is probably career related. Then we have the 3 of Cups reversed, okay, as the Heart card, the Hierophant. And then last but not least, we have the Knight of Pentacles, okay. So what I'm seeing here, pile 2, for you in terms of like the outcome, or like how does this turnaround come about? Yeah, that masculine energy, who is like a very intelligent, logical person, kind of realizes that you feel a little bit defeated, especially in terms of a group matter here with the 3 of Cups reversed. It's like maybe you feel like demoralized at work, like with your team, or you feel demoralized on a group thing that you're working on in general, even if it's not related to your career. And they're going to see that and they're going to be like, okay, wait a minute, like what's going on here? Like, why are they so demoralized? Like, why aren't they reaching for their dream or this idea that they had? And then they see that. And they realize, oh, that's what happened. Like, they're going to glean some information from that. Realize that's why you feel so discouraged and why you're kind of maybe a little bit heartbroken, right? And then, same thing too, like if this is a romantic relationship thing, pile 2, this could be that this King of Swords is actually like another potential partner, okay, that comes forward and understands like what happens and like, or what happened in the past, I should say, past tense. And they give you like a recontextualization of actually like what happened, that it wasn't really your fault. So just kind of apply that to your specific situation. But keep an eye out for that King of Swords energy coming into your life here soon. Or maybe they're already there and you just don't quite recognize what their role is yet. And then the Hierophant is very interesting, especially next to the Knight of Pentacles, because the Hierophant is about what has always been and tradition and authority. So it's like they have the authority to help bring this about, okay? So like I said, once again, I hear like someone that is at a higher level at your career, if this is a career thing, like maybe at your particular company, really actually likes your idea that got shot down. Same thing too with like maybe even it's like a new boss that replaces if this was like your old boss who was kind of a jerk. Let's just kind of put it that way, right? They invest in you more, and it's more like back to basics or back to the way it was when you were initially maybe more happy with this particular situation, because the Hierophant is like tradition, okay? Back to the way things were. And then, like I said, to authority, like they have the power to actually like give your ideas some wings to fly. And then last but not least, we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is taking action when it comes to career or finances, especially in like a more slow, dedicated way. So I think, especially for those of you where it was like an idea of maybe someone suggested cutting corners and you said no, and then they kind of shot your idea down of, you know, well, let's make more money rather than satisfaction, or like whatever your particular situation was. Part of the way this is going to turn around is going about things in a more dedicated, steady manner. especially when it comes to like finances or career, because of Pentacles being that suit, okay? Because the Knight of Pentacles is someone who moves very, very slowly, but in a way of like slow and steady wins the race. It doesn't have to be let's cut corners, let's go fast, okay? There's someone that gets the job done and they get it done right. So that is what I'm hearing for you. So just to summarize in general, pile 2, your lucky little blessing coming down the road is a turnaround on something that had kind of wounded you, especially regarding your dreams. And you're not only going to heal from whatever that wound was, it seems like that dream is going to be given an opportunity to take flight. Okay, it's going to be given approval by somebody else, it seems like, that has the authority to help you in that area. Okay, so yeah, short and sweet. If you liked the reading, if it resonated with you, please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, pile 2, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about a lucky little blessing coming soon for you. As you recall, your pile leader you chose was the card of strength. We have a boat on quite a stormy sea, but it is still able to brave the waves, hence the title of strength. So I'm going to set your card over here to the left as is custom. And then let's first draw your oracle cards to get some insight. So, Spirit, coming forward for pile 3 today, could you please guide us to the right cards to explain... Oopsie, sorry, I almost dropped my deck back here. To explain more about what blessing is coming their way soon. Thank you. First off, we have the duck and the chrysanthemum with luck. Okay, and 2 with the 10 at the top there, it makes me think of the Wheel of Fortune and Tarot, which you might actually get from your tarot reading today, but very, very fitting for the tagline to be luck. So luck in some area. Let's glean some more details here. Okay. Excuse me. We have new beginnings. Okay, so pile 3, what I'm hearing is there some area of your life where either you have just started a new beginning or you've been seeking a new beginning, like you've been considering it. And that seems to be where this blessing is coming in, is luck in this area. Like perhaps maybe things have been kind of stormy a little bit for you, hence like the pile leader you were drawn to. And it's been requiring some strength from you in order to get through what's been going on. But with this new beginning, this new thing that you have either recently embarked on or you're soon deciding to, it seems like it might be a lot more fruitful in the near future than you've been expecting. So let's shuffle the tea leaves and get those as well. That'll give us some more details, which is always good. Excuse me. My voice is a bit scratchy today. So, okay, there's one. And then I'm feeling this one right here and that one in the front. So as far as tea leaves, we have the forest, muddled, unclear thinking. I always think of the phrase, the forest for the trees. Next up, we have the teapot, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. Okay, so related to someone of the same gender, sex as you. And then we have the beetle with good fortune. Okay, so we just have a double shot here of luck and fortune with both the duck and the chrysanthemum, and then the beetle with the good fortune here as the tagline. But yeah, so just to summarize, pile 3, it seems like it's like a new beginning or a new adventure in some way where you weren't quite sure where to go or like how to go forward from here. The forest tells me that things have been kind of muddled, like the word says there. Things have been a little bit confusing. It also kind of reminds me of the storm here in your strength card. Like when we're storm tossed at sea as a metaphor, we think of being kind of like clouds obscure things and it's hard to navigate. And, you know, with the rough, choppy waters, it's almost difficult to kind of just get steady and keep going on the way that you were supposed to go or that you were intending to go. And so it's like, maybe the very beginning of this new beginning has been a little choppy, or you're afraid that it will be if you have not started it yet. Like maybe it feels like it's a very difficult initial uphill climb. But what this is telling me, pile 3, is that whether it's a new beginning you've already started and it has been choppy so far, or you're afraid it will be and you haven't started it yet, this reading, this blessing is telling me that it's going to be a lot better than you're expecting. Okay, you're going to have a lot more luck and fortune in this area of your life very soon. Because, you got, literally twice fortune and luck here with the beetle and the duck and the chrysanthemum, okay? And what's interesting, too, is the teapot, because like it says, deep friendship with someone of the same sex, okay? So, another way to figure out where this is in your particular life, like, what this reading is referring to is if someone else is involved that's of the same gender, okay? So, it could be like, you know, a fellow like sibling that's the same gender as you, or, you know, if you're in like a romantic relationship with someone of the same gender, or it could also be like someone at work of the same gender, something along those lines, okay? And it's like I see the storm finally clearing after this rocky way that's been a little bit unsteady, okay? Or 2, like, if you haven't embarked on it yet, it's like things will just finally become clear, like the sun piercing through the clouds, and you're like, okay, this is how I go about it. Now it's going to be a lot more smooth sailing, okay? So it's just a very reassuring reading here, especially if things have been choppy so far. Yeah, and I almost wonder if you have been having issues with someone of the same gender. Like, that's the person that they're denoting, or it's like you're afraid that you will. Like, you're not very certain about how they're going to work with you on this new journey if you have not embarked on it yet. But the reading is almost like Spirit saying, hey, wait a minute, it's going to be okay. Like, you're maybe worrying a little bit too much. However, it's good to worry a little bit, pile 3, because you want to be able to anticipate some, you know, prepare for some bad things to happen. That's just how we work in life. That's how we just make sure that, you know, we keep the rain out of our soup, right? But at the same time, like, we can over-worry. And over-worrying just puts, like, too much stress on us that really doesn't need to be there. And so part of what Spirit wants for you is just to walk away from this reading being like, okay, it's going to be okay. Deep breaths, right? And let's draw your tarot cards now, pile 3. So Spirit for pile 3, could you give me round 5? That explains more about the trajectory of this, what's going on. Thank you. Okay, that's a very big chunk of cards. Okay, we have the Knight of Swords reversed as the first. I cannot take all of those cards, so I'm just going to take them out for a second. And take what is coming out. Say 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So we have the Knight of Swords reversed, and then the second one was the 4 of Swords. Lots of swords, okay? So a lot of thinking. Swords is air in tarot, which is about the mind or the way we speak. So rest. Very interesting, too, that he's on a boat on a very, very calm, placid lake. Like, everything is so peaceful, he doesn't have to worry about things rocking the boat. He can sleep. Talk about that more in a second. Third card, the heart of the matter, is the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Yes, a new opportunity in terms of business or finance. Yeah, so it's almost like the new beginning is something to do with a new opportunity in the material world, pile 3. It's like a new job or like a new business that you started or a new project at work. Or some sort of new thing that you're trying to get off the ground that's like of the material world. And then we have the Tower reversed, avoiding a disaster. Beautiful. And literally, yeah, there's like 2 people here. So it's like, I almost wonder if that's the person of the same gender that's involved, is like both of you avoid the disaster that could have been that you're like worrying about. And then we have the Knight of Cups at the end here. Okay, so someone who is, takes actions on their feelings, someone who is, powerful and in the emotional way with relationships too. Yeah, so pile 3, what I'm seeing here is part of the initial worry here, I think, has been regarding, well, you have the Knight of Swords reversed at the very beginning, and I see that as the inciting incident of everything that's going on. And Knight of Swords reversed as an inciting incident is almost like a lack of taking action because you're not certain about something. Like, you've been so stuck thinking about something. Because normally, like, a healthy, positive Knight of Swords upright would be someone who is like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go about it very logically. Boom, here I go, like, full speed ahead. Because literally, like, this guy's on a motorcycle. Very fast, right? But reversed, it's like someone being like, I'm not so sure. You know, I'm not really ready to get my motor running and head out on the highway, right? I'm just a little bit uncertain with things. Okay, that's kind of that muddied, unclear thinking I was talking about, especially if things have been rocky at first or you fear that they will be, okay? But the beauty is we have the Four of Swords, okay? That's the card of rest. Literally, we have the boat symbolism coming up again, like your Strength card has. It's someone who is very calm and at peace and things are just fine, okay? So the very beginning, because this is after the inciting incident, it's like things are going to be a lot more chill than they have been. Part of the chillness of it, though, it comes from you calming down a little bit of the anxiety from that Knight of Swords reversed, okay? And then either just, like, embarking on the journey, like, finally, if maybe you've been hesitating, or just, like, give it a little bit of time and things are going to finally just kind of smooth down if it has been rocky so far. Now, the heart of the matter is the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and that tells me that there has been, like, either a fear of a lack of opportunity or, like, so far there has not been an opportunity. Maybe that's really what the rocky beginning has been, or that you fear it will be, is that, like, say if it's like a business that you're starting, you're like, I fear, like, nobody's going to take me up on my service or the product that I'm trying to sell, just as an example. Or same thing too, like, maybe you've been looking for another job and your fear is, I feel like I'm not going to get an opportunity or a job offer, okay? But the beauty, pile 3, is at the end here. Whatever you fear will go disastrously is going to be avoided here with the Tower reversed. It's literally avoiding a cataclysm, avoiding the worst possible outcome. You're going to be okay. The Tower is going to be stable, okay? And especially, too, with there being 2 people involved with this particular card, this version of the Tower, that almost tells me it's, like, something to do with that person of the same gender as you that's involved, okay? I think you're kind of in it together. Or like I said, it could be that maybe part of your fear is, like, how they're going to cope with the change or the new beginning, something along those lines. But, like, by working together, you're going to avoid the disaster and you're going to be, like, coming to a time of good fortune and luck with this. It's like, it almost feels to me like a very, like, unexpected stroke of luck, like almost miraculous, because you thought, oh, like, there's no way that this is not going to go wrong, but then it doesn't go wrong, it's just fine. Okay, so if you've been worrying a lot about this recently, pile 3, I would just kind of, I mean, easier said than done, but they're really reassuring you that that's going to be just fine there with that Tower reversed. And then as the outcome card, very beautiful, we have the Knight of Cups, okay? That is someone that is technically usually like a masculine energy. Okay, but that doesn't necessarily always mean a man. And the Knight of Cups upright is someone that is, like, they take action based on feelings and emotions, okay? So especially if maybe you fear that there's, like, going to be a rockiness between you and the other person regarding, like, the relationship or the feelings you have together. Especially, like, if you've gone into, like, business together, for example, pile 3. Because sometimes going into business together sounds good on paper, but then, like, you actually do it together, and then you realize, okay, maybe we have more flaws as business partners than we expected. That will kind of smooth out if that is the case for you, or it's like the both of you are just going to be able to weather through things emotionally a bit more, and, like, your relationship with each other, you know, be it, you know, familial, platonic, or even romantic. This could be, like, a romantic relationship too. Like, it's just going to kind of smooth out and things are going to be okay, and, like, things are going to just be that more calm. I mean, even in the background of this Knight of Cups here, it's like calm, placid waters again, like we had in the Four of Swords, but, and of course this time it's an ocean instead of a lake, but that's kind of what I'm seeing for you, pile 3. And then I do want to draw just 3 more cards for you today. I'm going to ask for you specifically, what are the other pros of the outcome? Like, what other part of the blessing exists? Because Yeah, it's good to hear, like, avoiding disaster. That's amazing to hear, right? We love avoiding disasters, don't we? But at the same time, I want to hear a little bit more about, like, the pros of this. Okay, the Devil. Once again, we have two people together. Very interesting. And normally, because, normally I would read the Devil as a negative card, but because this is a blessing reading, I almost view this as, like, a binding together closer for the purposes of something, like both very dedicated to something together. Okay. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so where there's been a lack of security, maybe if either you or the other person involved has been feeling kind of insecure about something, especially with finances, that's going to change and flip around. And then the King of Wands is like very, very confident. It could also even mean something to do with travel as well, because the world is behind this King of Wands in particular, this specific depiction of him. But yeah, it feels like pile 3. Reading this as a blessing reading, and not the, usually like these would have negative connotations, but I asked the pros of the situation. So yeah, it seems like, well, first of all, if there's been like unhealthiness between the two of you, or like an unhealthiness in either one of you regarding this situation, like that's going to resolve, especially in the areas of like a lack of confidence or like a lack of security. Same thing too with the Pentacles having come out with the Queen of Pentacles reversed. That denotes like finances or like career related maybe issues that have been occurring. Okay, like if you've already started this new beginning, or if that is what you're worried about if you haven't started it yet, like that's going to resolve as well. So for example, maybe like you're going into this with a business partner and you're afraid that they're not going to come up with their end of the finances or like the initial money needed to launch this thing. It seems like that is going to be fixed, or like that's something that they're telling you not to worry about, because it seems like with the Devil, it's like two people attached to the one thing, okay? Like two people very dedicated to one thing, almost to the point of, it's very interesting because the Devil can also mean like an addiction of some sort, because this is a blessing reading, like I said, it's like almost like a good addiction to getting the job done, or like getting the goal done together, okay? And then the King of Wands, like I said, is about having confidence, and then also doing things with passion in mind, okay? Because wands are fire in tarot, and tarot is all about like our heart in terms of our passions and our willpower, being able to break through obstacles, being able to speak charismatically. So if there's an element of you worrying about like the way that you come off to people, like maybe if you're doing like sales of some sort, that's going to be just fine. It's like you're going to come off as charismatic and confident, and so is if there is another person involved, so will they. Okay, so yeah, seems like things are going to really turn around. And I do see, like I said, a lot of luck in this area because we have like the beetle and the duck and the chrysanthemum earlier. I'll just emphasize that here at the end of the reading, because whatever it seems like you're worried about, pile 3, just take a deep breath. It's going to turn around. It's going to be okay. You'll avoid the disaster that you're worrying about, I promise. Okay. And things will be a lot better in the future between you and this person, maybe working together on something, be it a business or a relationship, or, insert your particular situation here. So, yeah, short and sweet. I hope you liked the reading. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings with you, or I should say for you, and other people in the future. And as is our tradition on the channel, pile 3, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Toodaloo.